Okay, guys, I have to apologize. This is Zoom. I cannot use it for more than 40 minutes. So now the lesson that we have to discuss today is called gerund and infinitive. As I told you guys, we have some verbs accept to be gerund or maybe infinitive with little difference in the meaning, but other verbs, they don't accept to be gerund and they don't accept to be infinitive. So let's discuss this lesson because I told you that this lesson is extremely important. Guys, keep in mind that these verbs, we can use gerund with them and we can use infinitive. First of all, let me tell you that gerund is to add ing to the verb. When adding ing to the verb, it becomes gerund or noun. But the infinitive to write to plus verb. طبعا جايز بدنا ننتبه أي verb بعد التو بده يكون بالفعل المصدر. Verb 0, to go, to sleep, to run. Don't add anything at the verb if you want to use it with to. Okay, now if you want to take a look at these verbs, guys, attempt, can't, bear, continue, purpose, and start. These verbs can be infinitive or maybe gerund, and they have the same meaning. Notice the example. The example is saying continue adding the water or continue to add the water. So if you want to use gerund or infinitive with continue, they have the same meaning. There will be no difference at all. Now we have some verbs like drink and like and hate. As I told you, these two verbs, we have a slight difference between them. For example, if you want to say, I like to drink juice in the morning and tea at the lunchtime, so only I like to drink juice only in the morning, only in a specific time. But if you want to say, I like drinking, absolutely, you can drink juice at any time or any place. It is the same with hate. Notice if I want to say, I hate to be the only person to disagree only in certain situations. But if it is permanent, absolutely, I have to say, I hate being the only person in to disagree or to do something. So please, you have to be careful with love, hate, and absolutely don't forget like. Not only, guys, you have to add enjoy. I enjoy eating pizza or I enjoy to eat pizza. So please add enjoy to love and hate with like because it depends on the situation that you are in. This example here is saying, I love cooking Indian food. I love it all the time. But I love to cook. It's only in a certain situation. Now here we have, she hates cleaning. So she hates cleaning in general, all the time. But if I want to say she hates to clean her room only today or maybe only tomorrow because she has something to do. So please, you have to be careful about these verbs because you have to use them with gerund or maybe infinitive, but with a specific time. Now, guys, keep in mind that all these verbs in the picture, all the time, you have to use gerund with them. Don't use infinitive with these verbs or your sentence will be wrong. The first verb we have admit, delay, deny, finish, mind يمانع, avoid يتجنب, deny ينكر, delay يؤجل, admit يعترف, dislike. طبعا لاحظنا انه like تزبط تكون gerund or infinitive, but dislike all the time you have to use gerund. Give up يستسلم يتوقف, miss يفقد او يفتقد, can't help, enjoy, imagine, forget about enjoy because it's not its place. Practice, can't stand, fancy, involve, put off, consider, feel like, keep on, and risk. Guys, keep on has the same meaning of continue But absolutely with this verb, I have to be careful because I have to use gerund with it all the time. وpractice guys مثل الادvice. Practice with S is a verb. Practice with C is a noun. So please, if you want to use any one of these verbs, you have to use gerund with them. Absolutely, we have some examples. Let's discuss the examples in the next page. Notice I told you forget about enjoy because you have to use it with hate, love, and like. Notice here, guys, he admitted stealing the necklace. So, because we have the verb admit, and all the time you have to use gerund with it. Notice the next example. I avoid buying things wrapped in plastic. So I avoid being alone. I avoid going to school alone. So if you want to use avoid, please you have to use gerund with this verb all the time, anywhere, any place. It is the same. Okay. This is something else which is changing the noun. Okay. Now, this page is saying we always use gerund after these expressions, such as it's no good and it's not worth, it's no use, it's a waste of time, spend time, can't help. If you want to use these expressions all the time, you have to use gerund with them. Again, guys, especially with the speaking, because you have to use them. Absolutely, we have a certain example. Notice the example is saying it's no use worrying about it. So if you want to use it's no use, keep in mind that the gerund should be used because if you want to use infinitive, your sentence will be wrong. Now, do you think that this book is worth reading? So notice this is it. It's worth, it's not worth. Absolutely, after this expression, you have to use gerund all the time. Absolutely, you cannot use to infinitive or maybe infinitive. Now, if you want to use these verbs, guys, absolutely, you have to use infinitive with them all the time. The verbs that we have afford, agree, arrange, ask, choose, continue, I decide to go, for example, demand, fail, help, hope, I hope to be here the next morning, attend, learn, manage, mean, I didn't mean to go, for example, I need to go, I offer, I plan to succeed the next exam, I pretend to be dead, I promise you not to be late the next time, I refuse to go, I want to go, for example. So please, if you want to use these verbs all the time, you have to use them with to verb zero or with infinitive. Now, absolutely, we have some examples. Now, notice the example is saying, I want to speak. Absolutely, I cannot say I want speaking. This is wrong. So if you want to use the verb want all the time, you have to use infinitive. So I want to speak to the manager. The next example, we have, she learns to play the piano. So I cannot say she learns playing the piano because, again, this is wrong. The final example is saying he offered to help me or help us wash up. So we notice that with these verbs all the time, we have to use infinitive because if you want to use gerund, again, all your sentence will be wrong. Okay. Not that important. Okay. We have, guys, some adjectives. You have to be careful with them because with these adjectives, you have to use infinitive all the time after them. These adjectives are afraid. I afraid to go to my sister's house, for example. Cheap, delighted, difficult, disappointed, easy to, أصلا easy مع to. Essential, expensive, glad to see you, happy to see you, hard to answer this question, interesting to visit this place, impossible to solve this question, kind, pleased to see you, possible, safe to go, sorry to do that, surprised to see you, relieved, and two, you can add any verb that you want. So when mentioning or using these adjectives, please, you have to use infinitive all the time with them. Don't use gerund at all. Absolutely, we have a certain example. Notice the example is saying, I was glad to see my old friend in town yesterday. So notice that because I use the glad or happy, I can use the infinitive, but I can't use the gerund. For example, guys, it is kind of you. Notice that after kind of you, I have to use infinitive. The example is saying it's very kind of you to do that for me or to take me to the station. So if you want to use kind, which is an adjective, you have to be careful that you have to use infinitive. What else? Do I have something important? It's your turn. Okay. Now, guys, let's try to practice these exercises. Hey, guys, the exercise is saying, would you like we have spent the evening with me and family? What do you think? Would you like spending or to spend?
To spend.
To spend, let me check. Exactly. Would you like to spend the evening with me and my family? Now, the next verb is leave. Now, we'll delay leaving or to leave until we hear the weather forecast. What do you
To
think?
leave.
To
To leave.
leave.
Leaving.
Uh-huh.
Will delay leaving.
We delay leaving or to leave. This is
To leave.
leaving.
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 Let me go back to the image or passage. We have delay. Maybe in the first picture, this is it. This is a
Delay.
delay. So delay, you have to use
Delay.
gerund all the time.
Yes.
So please,
But
guys,
how can we remember all these verbs?
you have to memorize them.
Too much.
Rima, is that you?
Yes.
اوكي نحن تعلمنا ريما بطرائق التدريس الرول حنضل نعلمها ونعمل لها براكتس تصير نوع من الهواية أو العادة.
Yes.
Please. So you have to use these verbs in talking and writing. By using them too much, you will use them unconsciously. Okay?
Yes.
Please.
Hope so.
You will. Yes, you will. Okay, so it's essential to get or getting a visa to visit China. What do you think?
To get.
It's important to get a visa to visit China. Now, it's unwise to travel by air without making a reservation or to make a reservation. Sorry, making or make?
Without
Making.
We have it's no use. It's not
Making.
worth making. Making, exactly. A reservation. The teacher reminded to bring or bringing the swimming things.
To bring.
To bring. We don't have the next page. What do you think? To bring or bringing?
To bring.
By the way, you have to memorize them, just to know. Let's check the verb bring. It is not, wait, this is adjective. Here. Bring is not here, so I cannot use it with infinitive, but the bring is... We don't have it in this list. Bring, we don't have it. Okay. By the way, guys, I have images that consist of all the verbs you have to keep in mind, just to know that you have to use these verbs with gerund or maybe with infinitive. I don't have it.
Teacher, we have
Mm.
maybe to consider remember, not bring.
To remember?
No, the teacher remembered,
Remember.
reminded. So
So
we have to look after reminded. If after this verb we have to make to or gerund. So he's I think to bring.
to bring. Do you know why to bring? Because we have remind. Remind me to go to sleep.
Yes.
Remind. So remind, you have to use to infinitive. By the way, I have some pages. These 3 pages here consist of all the verbs that I have to use, which are followed by gerund or maybe infinitive or gerund and infinitive. I'm going to send these pages, guys, to you by the end of this class. Okay?
Yes, thank you. It's better.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But let me warn you. Now, let me write 2 sentences and you have to tell me. I remember that I explained this lesson before, but let me check. Now, guys, the question is for all of you. What is the difference between I stopped to smoke or I stopped smoking? Who knows? Absolutely, the first one I used infinitive, but the second one I used gerund. Now, what is the difference between I stopped to smoke and I stopped smoking?
I stopped to smoke means I stopped it and at the moment and the past. But I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking forever. I stopped for.
You're a little close. Miriam, is that you?
Yes.
You're a little close. Thank you. Who knows? Who could tell me a good answer?
It is I stopped to smoking or to smoke.
To smoke. To smoke.
على فكرة, 2 sentences are correct, but absolutely the difference is in meaning. What is the difference between I stopped
smoking
sorry,
now
I stopped to smoke, not to smoking. I'm sorry, this is...
to smoke. I stopped to smoke now. It is now. I stopped smoking. I began before and I continue my stop to stop smoking.
A little bit. Thank you so much, Rima. Okay, guys.
Can I?
Yes, who is that?
Riwa.
Please, I'm Riwa, yes.
Okay, I stopped to smoke. Yani, I stopped for one time to smoke. I stopped smoking. Yani, like I stopped smoking all the time.
Amazing. This is exactly the difference. Thank you, Riwa. Guys, لنفترض انه انا عم بركض بشي محل بس بدي اتوقف لحظة لأدخن. بعد ما خلص سيجارتي رجعت عم بركض. So I stopped to smoke. توقفت للحظة لأدخن سيجارة وبعد ذلك كفيت مشواري. But I stopped smoking. توقفت عن التدخين نهائيا. Okay, guys?
That's what I told you.
Yes, I know, but I need you friends just to tell me something like you answer, not only you, Miriam, because I remember that in certain place I explained this lesson to you. Okay, so guys, we have some verbs I have to be careful of. One of them is to stop. The next verb we have remember. For example, I remember to get my keys or I remember getting my keys. Okay. Now keep in mind, guys, that you have to be careful of these verbs because they accept the gerund and they accept the infinitive. But absolutely the meaning should be different. Now the verbs are remember, forget, regret, try, stop, mean, go on, and need. Okay, let's take this example. Now, if you want to use gerund with them, you are talking about the present or the past time. But if you want to use infinitive with them, you are mentioning the future time. Absolutely, we have some examples. Let's try to take this example. Now, the example he is saying, I remember locking the door. Now, notice that remember plus gerund, it is about the past time. But if you want to say, I remember to lock the door, it is about the present time or the future. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay.
What about the others? Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
Exactly. So please, guys, I need you to be careful about these verbs because using gerund or infinitive, absolutely the tense shall be changed. Now we have another example. Remember to lock the door. It is about the future time. So I haven't gone yet, but I should lock the door if I want to leave. So it's about the future time because I used infinitive with remember. But by using gerund, you are mentioning the time. You cannot mention the future. Now, this is another example. Now, the example he is saying, I will never forget winning the race. So I won the race, already done, and I will never forget this event. But if you want to say, I will never forget to win the race, so notice that the race hasn't started yet because it is about the future. So this is about the future. I forget to do my homework. It is about the present time or the future time, but it's not about the future at all. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely. Here we have more examples. So notice I regret eating all the biscuits. Or maybe I want to say, we regret to inform you. So we regret informing. It is about in the past, but to inform you, the present, the future.
The present.
Exactly. I regret eating. It's about in the past. I ate the biscuits and I regret that because it's about something happened in the past and I
did
use
it.
exactly. So we have more examples. For example, try to push or pushing the button and I'm trying to give up smoking or I'm trying giving up smoking. So this is it, which is about the future or maybe the present time. Okay, guys, let me check
Okay.
if
Can
I
we
have.
go back to the verbs that we use with to and in infinitive or gerund?
Can I
So-
what? Can I go back?
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
The list.
You have to take a screenshot of these verbs because these are the most dangerous verbs in English. You have to know how to use them.
Okay, done.
Okay. So,
Yes.
guys, is everything clear?
Yes.
So
Yes.
please try the next time while speaking. You have to take them into your consideration because using them in a different way, absolutely, I will understand you and not incorrectly, but maybe you will commit a mistake. I will not get you correctly. Okay, guys?
Okay.
So, do you
Okay.
have any questions?
And we need to practice more on it.
Please. ريما
Yes.
على فكرة هاي فرصتنا نعمل براكتس فيهم. هلا اجت الفرصة نعمل لهم
No.
براكتس بسبيكينج. Please.
Can I make practice without
Without
exercise?
me, yes. You can practice with someone else, with your friend, with someone. Please.
Okay.
So,
I will try.
yes, please. You have to. Now, let me thank you so much, guys, and let me wish a good night for you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for you.
I
Thank
have
you
a
for you.
question.
Yes, Riwa, is that you?
Yeah. What's
yeah.
the meaning of fancy? The verb.
Fancy يتخيل.
Okay.
Okay? Fancy that, تخيل ذلك. Imagine. Okay, so thank you again and God bless you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.